Keto Rock Stars.
This is your host.
Your favorite funny food addict, Rockin Keto Amy, and welcome to tonight's Sunday Night Live in the Rockin Keto Kitchen. Tonight we are making one of my favorite all-time recipes: egg roll in a bowl. Now tonight we're gonna make it off of the Ketogasm website.
Yes, it's
probably not appropriate, but
that's the name
of the website.
I normally make Maria Emmerich's recipe,
but
hers isn't a
copyrighted cookbook.
So
I don't want to use that recipe because it's in a copyrighted cookbook.
But
I want to give a plug out to her just because she has a ton of great recipes. I just love anyone who knows me knows that I love her recipes. But her similar recipe is in a cookbook called the 30-Day Ketogenic Cleanse.
So again, I'd like to
throw a plug out to her. And if you haven't tried any of Maria Emmerich's recipes, hop over to her website, MariaMindBodyHealth.com.
And she has
a ton of recipes and cookbooks that you can purchase from her.
I highly recommend
those. But again, tonight we're going to do the egg roll in a bowl off of the Ketogasm website.
Again, I always have to
do my disclaimer.
I'm not a medical
professional. Any information provided in this form is not to use as medical advice, diagnosis, treatment,
or services to you
or any other person.
Any
information provided in this form does not replace being seen by a physician. If you have a medical condition, always seek medical advice from a physician, and always please consult a physician before changing your diet.
Okay, I want to look to see, is anybody in the live stream?
Go ahead and post in the comments if you're in the live stream.
Looks
like somebody was waiting to get in.
Please post in the chat
during the live.
I am a
one-person show, so I'm going to be doing the cooking. I also do the live stream. I'm the producer, the camera person, the cooker,
everything.
So it's really hard for me to address the chats, but please post in the chats while I'm cooking,
and then I'll
circle back around and we'll have time to chat after I get through the recipe. Let's see what else.
Okay. So I think
we're gonna go ahead and get to the recipe. As always, I post the recipes in a link in the comments.
So check the comments,
and that will be in there.
And we're gonna go ahead and get to it.
For now, I'm gonna switch cameras. I have a camera behind me over by the oven, which is we're gonna be working today. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now.
So you can see my camera on the oven. And I am going to move a couple things over here. And you're not going to see me on camera while I'm cooking. So I'm going to get my recipe up here. Okay, so I've done a few things ahead of time. It said to brown some pork. So I've already done that. I've already browned the pork. And I've already scrambled some eggs because that's in the recipe. And it said to cut the cabbage into long strands, but I've made this recipe before. And honestly, I feel like you can chop the cabbage any way that you want it, and the recipe will turn out okay. So you have to brown the ground pork, which I've already done, over medium heat. And then it says ensure cabbage and onion. So you're going to chop a half an onion, which I've already done that as well. So I've already chopped my onion and I have that here as well. So it says ensure cabbage and onion are thinly sliced into long strands. It says use a spiralizer to cut the vegetables. I did not do that. I just chopped them. And then it says add sesame. Okay, so we're going to put our ground pork into the pan. Now, normally you'd be doing the ground pork and it would still be warm, but to cut corners, I went ahead and did this earlier. So we're going to heat up our pan a little bit with the pork in it. So I'm just going to turn this burner on for now. Put my pork back in here, just like we just cooked it. And then we have sesame oil. Now I'm going to talk about this a little bit later because I don't normally cook with sesame oil, but this calls for 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And it says add the sesame oil and onion to pan with the brown pork. So it calls for 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Okay, we may have to take the top off of this because that does not come out perfect. All right. Okay, so we're just going to add the sesame oil in there. And then our onion. And again, I already have this stuff ready to go so that we're not here all night. So I have my chopped onion and I'm going to add that in there. Okay. And the sesame oil, I don't normally cook with sesame oil, but for this particular recipe, you have to use sesame oil because it gives a flavoring to the recipe that you sort of need to make it have that like egg roll flavoring. So really this is the only recipe I ever use with the sesame oil. And I don't make this very often, but we'll talk more about the sesame oil a little bit. Okay, so it says continue mixing together over medium heat. And then while we're doing that, it says mix soy sauce. Now, we don't really use real soy sauce. We use liquid aminos. And I have some of that right here. So the brand that I use is Bragg Liquid Aminos. And this calls for 1/4 cup soy sauce or liquid aminos. Soy sauce isn't really keto friendly. So I always get this liquid aminos. And again, I use the Bragg brand. And so I'm going to mix 1/4 cup of this. Into a glass bowl. So I have a glass bowl. I'm going to put the 1/4 cup liquid aminos. Continue to stir this up. I think they're wanting us to cook the onions here a little bit. And then we're going to add 1 clove garlic minced. And I probably added a little bit more than 1 clove garlic because I like a little more garlic. So I have that right here. And this is all going into this glass bowl with the soy sauce. So I'm going to bring this over here so you can see it. We have a lot going on here. So I have my garlic. I'm going to add that in with the soy sauce. Turn my light on here so you can see. Okay, so I'm adding this in with the soy sauce. Okay. I have my liquid aminos and my garlic. I mix that together. Continuing to stir the meat and the onions over the medium heat. The next thing we want to add is we have 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. We're going to add that to the garlic and the liquid aminos. And again, I already have the ground ginger chopped up as well. So I'm going to come over here and add that to my mixture. Okay, so I have the ground ginger, the garlic, and the liquid aminos mix right here. And then it says, once onions have browned, add the sauce to the pan. And really, you can cook the onions to your desiring. If you like them translucent, cook them translucent. If you like them brown, cook them brown. And that sesame seed oil really smells good, I have to tell you. Okay, so then they want me to add this into the pan. Okay, so we've just added our sauce to the pan. We're going to stir that up. Yum, that smells so good. I really haven't had a dinner yet, which is probably a mistake. Okay, so we just have a really good smell. This smells so good. I think this is one of my sister Janine's favorite meals too. She's not here. She's on a cruise right now, or she's in the Caribbean. Okay, immediately add the cabbage mixture to the pan. I have one whole head of cabbage here. So we're just going to start tossing this in. Now, sometimes this is a lot of cabbage. Sometimes you got to add some in and stir it up and then add some more in. So I found that is very helpful because the cabbage will cook down. But I have a very, very large pan that I bought at Sam's Club, and this pan helps for this recipe. So I found that you kind of add the cabbage in batches. And you just stir it into that meat and sauce mixture. Okay, oh, hold on. We've got, yeah, Just Jason's in here. Hi, Just Jason. We got my dad. Just Jason, Keto and More. And my dad's in here. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, I'm trying to hop over and see who's in here. We'll do some chatting here in a minute. Yeah, egg roll in a bowl is one of my favorites, too. And it's really easy. I mean, you have to do a little bit of chopping and a little bit of frying of the meat. Okay, I'm going to try without making a mess. It's always really hard to cook on live. And I really admire, I'm a new follower of Chris Cook in Nashville's channel. If you have not checked him out, you need to go check him out. His channel is amazing. When I grow up, I want to be like him. He's got an amazing cooking channel. Okay, so we have all the cabbage in here, right? We got all the cabbage in here. So carefully without making a mess. I mean, I don't care if I make a mess normally, but when people are watching me, I care a little bit more if I make a mess. So you just stir up the egg roll in the bowl. And it says scramble 8 eggs, but I like a little bit more protein. You're in my feed, so here checking out a fellow keto channel. Just Jason, awesome. Well, welcome. Hopefully you hit the like and subscribe button for me. Please do that. I'm a new YouTuber. I've been on Facebook I've had a Facebook group called Keto Rock Stars, where we post a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Chris is a wizard in the kitchen. Yeah, when I grow up, I want to be like him. They're awesome. Yeah, he's a professional. Okay, so you just basically cook this down. Continue cooking. It says 3 minutes. It says cook the cat. We've been cooking it for longer than 3 minutes. But really, I mean, you guys can cook your cabbage to desired tenderness. I think the bigger thing is get it all coated in that mixture, right? Because you want it all to taste like the soy sauce. And you want it all smothered in that. So we just want to get it cooked down a little bit and all mixed up. Then what we're going to do, now it said 8 scrambled eggs. But I love eggs so much that I put 10 scrambled eggs in there. So yeah, this is starting to really... Oh, the other thing I forgot is chicken broth. So it said add chicken broth to the pan and mix. So we need to add some chicken broth, right? So it says 2 tablespoons, which is not a whole lot. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons. and a splash, because I just splashed them in there, 2 tablespoons of chicken broth. And the other thing we need to add is some salt and pepper. So now I'm going to use my favorite salt. It doesn't say how much salt or pepper. I'm going to use my favorite salt, which is Redmond's Real Salt, the organic seasoned salt. In the keto space, a lot of us talk about the Redmond salt. And I'm just going to, but the organic seasoned salt is my absolute favorite. I'm less of a fan of pepper, but I'm starting to use it more in the recipes just because it is growing on me a little bit. But I typically tend to put less pepper in my recipes than salt. So we're going to put our salt and pepper in here. And then we're going to mix that in. So that gets dispersed through it. So we added some chicken broth, some salt and pepper. And if you had any other seasonings that you wanted to add to it, I mean, there's no rocket science on this. Just because a recipe says something doesn't mean you can't mix it up and make it your own. That's how I've come up with a lot of my own recipes, is I didn't like the way a recipe was, and I'm like, no, that's not right. I want my own recipe. And I've just made my own recipes. Okay, so that's looking pretty good to me. Looks like everything's pretty well coated. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our scrambled eggs. Get some of this stuff out of the way here. I have a really tiny kitchen too, by the way, which is somewhat of an advantage and somewhat of a disadvantage. The advantage is I can move around really easy here. The disadvantage is I don't have a lot of counter space. So here's our scrambled eggs. And again, it said 8, but I put 10 in there. And I already pre-scrambled these. And another thing you may want to do is you may want to not add these in right away. You may want to, if you're going to be eating this all week, you may want to scramble the eggs as you go and make them fresh. You know, if this is going to be lasting you all week, you may not want to scramble a big bunch of eggs and put them in there like I just did. You may want to make your eggs fresh and top it every time you eat with a fresh egg. I might suggest that. That way you have a fresh egg every time you eat this. Because this will feed you all week. My husband does not like this recipe, so when I make this, it's for me. And I have froze it. Okay. So can everybody see that? I'm not going to lift this pan up because this is a really big pan. And I will probably drop it if I lift that up. So essentially, that is our egg roll in a bowl. Now, I'm probably going to get a bowl of this. And then we're going to taste test it. I have a bowl right here. And we're going to move back over. And we're going to do some chatting. So I'm going to put some of this in a bowl. Okay, I've already turned the burner off, so that's good. That's a little more than a test. And then I have some green onion here. So you can top that with some green onion and make it look pretty. And I'm going to meet you over so we can do some chatting. How does that sound? We can talk about something. But let's see. It is, what time is it? It's 8:19. In 19 minutes, we made egg roll in a bowl. And now we can do some chatting. All right. Meet you over on the other side. right,
everybody.
I'm
turn the camera a little bit this way.
We are back.
We are back.
I've got my egg
roll in a bowl.
We're gonna sit down and do some chatting. Just see my beverage here.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through
some
chats. We got
chats.
Dad.
Dad's in the house. Dad says I'm here.
We have just Jason, keto and more. Egg roll in a bowl.
One of my favorites.
And just Jason keto and more. Says you're in my feed, so I'm here checking out a fellow keto channel. Thank you so much, Just Jason. Like I said, I'm a fairly new YouTuber. I've been over on my Keto Rockstars Facebook group. Feel free to join that. I post a lot of recipes in there. But I've moved my live streams over from Facebook over to YouTube, so I'm fairly new at this, so I'm doing the best that I can. And I mentioned Chris Cook in Nashville. I just met them at Keto Palooza, and I started following them. Chris and Ash, and they're awesome. So Just Jason says Chris is a wizard in the kitchen. Yes, he is. Like I said, when I grew up, I wanted to be more like Chris Cook in Nashville. Oh, thank you, Jason. He's already liked and subscribed to my channel. You rock. Oh, Dad says, I know what's going on here, I think. I have an echo going. Okay. Let me see. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now? I think I had one too many mics going. Jason, you were at Keto. Okay. 2 speakers working. Yep. Okay, I have an echo going. Yep. 2 speakers working, 2 voices coming through. Okay. Just Jason was at Keto Palooza. You were at Keto. I wonder if we met. Do you remember me? I met a lot of people at Keto Palooza. That's better. Yeah, I figured out what was going on. So you have to bear with me. I'm new to this and I'm just learning the software. So thank you for your patience. So let me do a couple of things here. Let me get my iPad because I have some stuff we can talk about, and I want to try a bite of this. Dad says it's better. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. You remember seeing me there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got a little emotional. I got up and spoke during Maria Emmerich's speech. That was me, if you remember that. Yeah. So awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to tell you guys about the sesame seed oil. So I don't use the sesame seed oil very much because if you follow Dr. Berry at all, he, in his guidebook, he talks about the different seed oils that you shouldn't use. And unfortunately, sesame seed oil is not one of the seed oils, not one of the oils that he approves. But Maria Emmerich has a similar recipe, and she uses sesame seed oil in her recipe, but she recommends getting cold press sesame seed oil. So I'm not really sure. It is still steaming. I'm double checking. Oh, actually, you know what? Thanks, Dad. It is off. Burner's off. I saw it steaming back there and I'm like, oh, it's still hot. So the burner's off. Yes. So the cold pressed seed oil, I think it is better for you because of the way it's manufactured. And that's why Maria Emmerich recommends that. So yeah, Dad, that's what happens when you have a one-man show. No, it's not burning. It's fine. We'll check it. It's good. There's liquid in the bottom, Dad. It's fine. So, okay. So the cold pressed seed oil is better for you than the regular seed oil. And that's why I wanted to kind of mention that. But this is the only recipe that I use the seed oil in sesame seed oil. And I only do it once in a while. So I wanted to kind of mention that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is for those people who are anywhere in driving distance or local, we are having a Michiana meetup. Just Jason, I don't know where you're from, but we're going to be doing a meetup on December 8th in Mishawaka, Indiana, which we call it the Michiana area. And I will post a link to that in the comments. But it is we're going to have it at a Mexican restaurant here at Monterey Mexican Restaurant in Mishawaka, Indiana. And again, I'll post a link to that. We do ask that everybody sign up so we kind of have a head count of how many people are going to be coming. Just because my friend, so she knows how many people are going to be coming to the restaurant. So, but that's coming up on December 8th at 3 p.m. Again, I will post a link to that in the comments. And we hope to see you all there. I'm hoping it becomes either a monthly thing or a bi-monthly thing, just so people can check in. I've had a lot of requests for that on my Facebook channel. So, oh, you're in Ontario. Oh, wow. So just Jason Keto and More is in Ontario, Canada. Yeah. Hopefully I will be have the ability to live stream those. I don't know if I'm going to do the first one or not. I need to see how it goes. So boy, you went all the way to Keto Palooza from Ontario. That's amazing. Amazing. Was that your first Keto Palooza, Jason? It was for me. It was my first Keto Palooza, so I just had a blast. I had so much fun. So yeah, that was my first one, and I absolutely loved it. Who was your favorite speaker from the presentation? If you're able to answer that. 507 East McKinley Avenue, Dad says. Okay. That's the address of the restaurant. Thank you, Dad. And then Just Jason says this year was a second for me. Sorry if there is a little bit of a delay for me getting your chats. Oh, hey. I think this is Twinbrook Acres. Is this Rich? Yes. Hello. Hello, Rick. It's Rick. Rick, yes. Hello, Rick. Rick's in the house. Yes. Okay, so you two know each other. Awesome. Rick's in the house. Awesome. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. We just made a quick recipe. We made egg roll in a bowl. It's not my recipe, but I put links to the credit in the comments. And yeah, you know that guy. I know that guy. Hello, Jason. I know that guy. Awesome. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. I love it. Love it. On a Sunday night. I have not had dinner, but I'm gonna have dinner. So I made this. I'm gonna show you. I made egg roll in a bowl, and it smells yummy. Oh, I haven't had a bite yet. I'm gonna try a bite so we can test it. Very good. Hey, Justin's here. What's up? Yes. Okay. So you liked Rachel and Dr. Barry. Dustin's in the house. What's up? Just as I put food in my mouth. There's another familiar guy. Yes, Dustin. Oh, your kids are making dinner for you. What are they making, Dustin? Just Jason says, hi, Dustin. Dustin's in the house. I just ate in front of you all, but I had to try the product. So I had to try the product. It's good. It's really good. I'm going to eat it I'm going to eat it after we get off of this. So what do you guys feel about sesame seed oil? Is it something you would use? Is it something you would not use? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, ooh, they're making. So Dustin's kids are making chicken and Brussels, and they're making themselves potatoes. Yep, yep. Brussels sprouts are probably one of my favorite things. I really like them. So I was explaining this recipe that I made, and I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, so this recipe that I made called for sesame seed oil, but Dr. Berry's Proper Human Guidebook says that sesame seed oil is one of the oils that we should avoid. So there's some controversy in the space. I would not, but what do I know? So Rick says I would not, but what do I know? I only ever use it for this one recipe, and I don't eat this recipe all the time. It's one of my favorites, but I maybe eat this recipe once a year. But you have to almost have this for this recipe because that it requires that flavor. I don't know where else you would get that flavor. And I was explaining that Maria Emmerich has the same recipe in one of her cookbooks, and she says to use sesame seed oil, but she recommends cold pressed sesame seed oil. But I have never found a cold pressed sesame seed oil. I found organic sesame seed oil, and it calls for 1 tablespoon. And I maybe make this recipe once a year. So, but it's on Dr. Berry's list of oils that you should not use in his guidebook. So I'm like, the more I do this lifestyle, the more I find stuff that, oh, I shouldn't have had that. That's another thing that's not a clean ingredient. It's like, and I think maybe it might have been on Dustin's channel that, like, if we sit there and freak out, and maybe it was Cindy's channel. I don't know. I'm watching so many channels now, I can't keep track of where I heard what. But it's like if we sat there and stressed maybe about every little thing that we ate, we would probably go crazy. Yeah, like 1 tablespoon once a year, I don't think is going to kill me. I know it's probably not the cleanest. And me, I am so allergic to everything. So just Jason says, I don't think that would be a concern. And people who, especially the newer people who are getting to know me, know that I have a terrible time with ingredients that are inflammatory. I get really sick, meaning joint pain, eczema. So the minute I eat gluten or anything wrong, I can't walk for like 4 days. So what I say is my check engine light starts going off, and my dashboard starts going nuts, and then I'm sick for like 4 days. So the way that I kind of judge it is if I eat something and my check engine light doesn't go off, then I'm like, okay, I'm safe. This might be something I can have once in a while as a treat. And this oil doesn't seem to set my check engine light off. So if I have it once a year, I guess that might be okay. I don't know. I don't know. But oh man, I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining me tonight. This is awesome. Awesome, awesome. So everybody's eating, everybody's talking to each other. What else? What other question? What does everybody else eat, or what did everybody else have for dinner tonight? I got to stop doing these lives on a hungry stomach. I did that Friday with Cindy too. What's everybody's meal for the day? Dustin had chicken, or he's having chicken and Brussels. I'm probably going to have a bowl of this egg roll in a bowl. My dad loves being in here because my parents live next door. So when I have these lives on Sunday, I will often run him over a sample. So he likes to get a sample after the cooking show. Chicken, that was it, is what Rick says. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. Just meat. Meat. Are you pretty much carnivore, Rick? Ooh, just Jason says, I had a big piece of prime rib. That is my favorite. I like prime rib with a couple over medium eggs on it. I know I'm weird, but I like that. I put eggs on everything. Yum. Oh. Dad, are you still in here? What did you guys end up having for dinner? It's awesome. So yummy. All the good stuff. Oh, so how many of you went to the indie meetup yesterday? Did you guys all go? Rick, did you go? Oh, my dad says we had beef, not telling what else. I'm not keto yet. I'm working on him though, guys. I'm working on my dad. But he'll eat my keto food if I bring it to him. Jason says, eggs on anything? I usually put them on my burgers. That is my favorite thing, Jason. I love a hamburger with bacon and eggs on it. Yeah, Rick says, just recently went primarily carnivore. I occasionally have celery with peanut butter. Okay, Rick did not go. I did not go either. We had some other family stuff going on yesterday. And I honestly don't like driving by myself. So my husband is the road warrior. So if he doesn't go with me, I have a hard time. Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I keep saying that, but I'm so pumped. I got more than like a couple people in here tonight. My sister is usually in here, and she's the whole reason that I went keto. I tell everybody she saved my life. But she is in the Caribbean right now. I think she's in St. Lucia. So she's not able to join, but she usually has a lot of good things to talk about. But she's too shy to come on camera. I'm telling you, the lives would be so much better if she decided we could be like the Keto Sisters. We could have a really good gimmick and be the Keto Sisters, but she won't be on camera. One of these days, I'm going to force her to be, and I'm going to interview her. But she just won't. She won't do it. Oh, and Dustin, I loved watching your live today when you guys were talking about how hard it is to cook in the kitchen on a live, and I'm like, I wish somebody would have warned me about that a year ago. Because I've been struggling cooking on camera for over a year. And is Mom still listening, Dad? Because I want to pick on her for a minute. Oh, thank you so much. You're doing good to have live streams this soon into YouTube. Well, I've been practicing on Facebook for a year, but they're not great. I still don't feel like I'm doing that great. But my mom, I'm going to pick on my mom for a second because she wants me to be a professional, like have a professional cooking show on TV, and she's like, well, you're not polished and you need this or that. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a one person show. I have my cameras, I have a computer, and I don't have a producer, and I'm one person. um I need about three bodies, to like follow me around in the kitchen. Yeah, she's watching. Oh, I'm in trouble. No, sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick on you, but and then I watch. Oh, you do? What's your channel? Post your channel. Um, Post your channel in the comments because I want to follow you. Um, but I started watching Chris Cook in Nashville. I'm like, his wife does all the follows him around in the kitchen with the camera, and it's just amazing. And I used to just take my iPhone and drag it around the kitchen with me, was so much easier. But now I have cameras, and they're not really. Uh oh. Mom volunteers to produce. Oh, being a builder, real estate appraiser, and tax assessor, I'm admiring your kitchen arrangement and the cabinets. So, these cabinets, Rick, these are okay. My house was built in what, Dad? When were our houses built? 1961. We just remodeled what, in 2021, I want to say. And my husband, these are the original cabinets to our home. So these cabinets are like 1961 cabinets. My husband took them all down, meticulously sanded them by hand. He probably has over 200 hours in these. And he sanded them, put new hardware on them, and put them back up. And then we paid somebody to do the backsplash. But we just didn't want to put the money into the cabinets because they're expensive. And 1968 was when this house was built. And it's a really small kitchen, but we remodeled it. We took out the kitchen table. We put this island in, but the island isn't a floating island in the middle because it's so small. The island is up against the wall. So when you see me cook, I'll point the camera down at the island and then I'll put a camera behind me. And you'll see my little camera stand back here. That's tiny little space is all I have. And the oven. And then we put in another cabinet island over here against the wall. And that's really all I have to cook with. So I am just like working in a tiny little space, but sometimes it's advantageous because now I'm putting a computer over here and two cameras hooked into it, and I can just flip them on the keyboard, and I'm figuring it out. It's working somehow. I don't know. We'll see. Um, so okay, Just Jason is Just Jason Keto. So we're gonna start following Just Jason Keto's channel. Dustin's is Keto Simple. And hey Rick, what is yours again? Is yours Twin Brook Acres? Is that your YouTube channel? We got a lot of YouTubers in here. Yep, I'm gonna follow all of you. But thank you. That's so nice, Rick. I really appreciate that. Um, my dad is in here. JAD608. He's not a YouTuber. So yes, our houses were built in 1968. Okay, Twin Brook Acres. I'm gonna follow you too. So I can't wait to see you were gonna start hiking, you said the last time I heard you talk about doing these hikes. So hopefully you start documenting that, I think you said. That would be exciting. Oh, thank you. I'm sure I'll come over with a bowl of egg roll in a bowl, and I'm gonna feed you, and then I will get Mom's show notes on what I need to improve upon. So, but that's okay. That's good. Thank you, Dad. Of course, my dad's gonna tell me it's a good show. He's my dad. He's my dad. Oh, awesome. I'm really starting to like Tuesday nights too because there's a lot of that's the night Dustin goes live. That's the night Chris Cook in Nashville goes live. And then Keto Chow's live that night. So I come home from work and I find myself watching more and more YouTube shows. Yum. Yes, Dad, you get to try some of the good food. Yes. Okay. So Rick is wrapping up a couple of projects, then you'll start working towards the hiking. Yep, that's awesome. Good for you. My sister is a hiker and she lives out west near she's in Nevada near Vegas, and she does a lot of hiking. I am not so coordinated with the walking part, probably because of my hip issues. So I don't do a lot of hiking. I'd like to just get started walking again. That would be a good start. But I envy her for all the hiking they do out west there. Um, so, but they do see a lot of stuff like tarantulas and scorpions, and they see a lot of interesting wildlife out there. So I did go on I think a mile hike with them. Ooh, you have a podcast interview series? I would love to record an episode sometime. Sure. That'd be, I just did Cindy DeManch. I just did an episode on her channel. So, yes, I would love to do that. That would be so much fun. Yes, we should do that. I'm working on trying to set up my gig here too to be able to bring people in as well. But this I'm still getting used to the software too. So, yes, I would love that, Jason. Can't wait to come check out your channel too. I'm meeting so many great people. Ooh. Well, thank you. Thanks, Rick. That's so wonderful of you to say that. You know, what's funny about all this too is my dream was not to become a YouTuber or social media personality, or this still is not my dream. This is not my dream. What happened was I lost 110 pounds, and people started coming to me and they're like, I need you to help me. I need to know what you're doing. You need to help me. And this started happening multiple times every week, where I would get text messages from people I knew that saw me going through this process. And the only thing that I could think about was, how do I do this? How do I reach people and teach them about what I'm doing? So in 2021, I started a Facebook group, and I it had a horrible name. I don't even remember what the name was. Yeah, that's what I'm using. Yeah, I'm using OBS Studio, and so I started this Facebook group. I eventually named it to Michiana Keto Rock Stars. Yeah, this is kind of where I'm going with this, Jason. I never imagined I would be on YouTube either. And now it's a way to help lots of people. So I started on Facebook, and because I couldn't keep up with all the text messaging back and forth, I just couldn't do it. I'm in two choral groups. I sing, so I'm gone 2 nights of the week. I have performances. I work a full-time job, and then now I have people that are like text messaging me all the time, wanting to, you know, help them. And so I started this group, and I started inviting people to this group. And next thing you know, I have over 500 people, or close to 500 people in this group, and I'm helping them, and they're inviting their friends, and they're inviting their friends. And so then fast forward, and I've been doing these videos and just in that group for the last year, and I'm just teaching them how to cook, and they're not even my recipes necessarily. Some of them are, but I'm like, I just want to show people what I'm doing. And so next thing I know, fast forward to Keto Palooza 2024, right? And I'm meeting people like Chris and Miriam Bear, and I'm meeting all these people, and I'm like, just because I have this group and where I'm helping people in this group, and they're like, but you could reach so many more people on YouTube, and then you can get sponsors and do all this other stuff. And I'm like, what? Why do I need to do that? And they're like, because you can reach so many more people on YouTube. So that's kind of how I made the transition to YouTube. I'm still not sure I like it, but I mean, that's kind of how I moved over here. I'm finding it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. That's the problem that I'm having with it. It's a lot of time that I know people spend a lot of time doing this, and that's the struggle that I'm having with, is that I'm already strapped for time. So I'm hoping to find a place where I can I know a lot of people do a lot of editing on videos, and I don't want to be in that space. I just want to be able to reach people, and people liked my story. Yeah, yeah. I know I have to get to a point where I can create some short videos and edit them and upload them, but um, that's really a lot of time people spend making YouTube videos. So yeah, YouTube is definitely a lot more work than it's a lot more work than what I realized. And thank goodness for Dustin, because he's been really educating me on a lot of stuff. And he did all of these little oh, this way. All of these little uh he did all my logos for me. Oh, I'm a natural public speaker. So I probably get that from I'm a singer, so I get up in front of people and I've sung. The other thing is in my day job. So what I do during the day is I'm a technical trainer. So I have to get up in front of people and speak and teach people software. So it's kind of like I do this during the day. The part I don't want to do, I mean, I would love to do it if I didn't have a day job and other extracurriculars, is the editing and the having to do thumbnails and do all this other work. I'm like, I just want to help people with their weight loss. I want to connect to people. I want to chat with people. I want to do what we're doing right now. I don't want to spend time, I don't want to spend 50 hours at home creating thumbnails and editing videos and doing all this stuff just to get likes. I want to connect with people and talk to people and help them. And I want them help them be successful and not spend time in a corner with a video camera and do stuff that's not reaching people. So, yeah, figure out a workflow that minimizes the time you need to spend editing. I can film, edit, and post my weekly video. 2 hours is taken to, oh my gosh, see, 2 hours for me, that's, oh my gosh. It has taken doing almost 700 videos. Like when I hear people spending 2 hours doing like a 20-minute video, I just want to crawl in a hole and give up. I'd rather spend 2 hours talking to someone on the phone, helping them figure out how to do this lifestyle, not being a YouTuber. Is that wrong of me? I don't know. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. Yeah. Yep. I got to figure out how to be efficient at it for sure. 700 videos. That's awesome. That is incredible. Yeah. So I'm having my first in-person meetup. My goal is to start having those monthly because people have really reached out to me as well and said, I can't do this through the technology thing. I need to be in person. Now that's not going to help people that, like Jason, who's in Ontario, but I may try to find a way to live stream the meetings. I'd kind of like to keep it locked down though, because if people are going to talk about their personal situations, I don't know that we would want that broadcast through the entire internet. So it might have to be a Zoom call that's not recorded or something like that. So I'm still working on that. I don't know. There's just so much to figure out. And I feel so far behind the game because you guys have all been doing this how long now? How long have you guys all had your YouTube channels and everything? I mean, I've had my keto group since 2021, and I've been keto since 2018. But my intent was never to be a online personality, and definitely not cook on a channel. This is bizarre. Almost every week, I almost always forget to get an ingredient out of the fridge too. It's hilarious. We've got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll have to go on. Jason, I'll have to go on your podcast. Do you do video or just podcast? 4 years ago. So Jason started 4 years ago. Rick started 5 years in various iterations. I'm doing the Facebook Lives I started a year ago. But my Facebook group has been going on since 2021. And I've been keto since 2018. So we'll see. But yeah, Keto Palooza was just a game changer for me. I wish I would have went to the first one. It's a video podcast on YouTube. Awesome. Yep. Awesome, awesome. Oh my gosh. I just love this. I love connecting with people. I really do. Rick has been against Rick's story just, oh man, it's an incredible story. Just incredible. Thank you for sharing that, Rick. That just really touched me big time. It's a great story. It's so funny because before Keto Palooza, I mean, I started my own group, and I know that there's people out there because I see people chatting in like Dr. Barry's videos and stuff. But when I went to KPL, I was just like, whoa, there's a bunch of people that were hugging me and treating me like family. And I'm like, I just met these people. This is crazy. It was awesome. Jason says this KPL was a lot of fun this year. So many new people there this year. Like me, I was new this year and I felt like that was my jam. I should have been there every year. And I really had just learned about it. Yeah, Dad, I have awesome visitors tonight. Awesome. I'm having a great night. This has been awesome. I love that I only cooked for like 20 minutes and then I've got to talk to people the rest of this time. This is what I love to do. What I love to do. Awesome. I had some other things that I was going to talk about if nobody showed up, but I'm so glad people showed up because then we could just talk about whatever we want. It's amazing. And my chat, I fixed my chat. My chat was working a little better tonight. You can read it. Um, yeah. Yeah, KPL was a lot of fun this year. I'm gonna go as long as they have it now. It's gonna be my thing. Uh, I'm sad that I just found out about it last year, so I couldn't go last year. A friend of mine went, and that's how I found out about it. Is that no, Dad? This is a microphone. This is my microphone that I got for my setup, so that I can. Mom wants to know if this is a mouse. It's my mic. So for my little studio. Yeah, the cool kids are here tonight. For my studio, I thought it would be best to get a little microphone, a lapel microphone. Yes. So my email is, hold on, my email address is brand new. I have to look it up because I have a brand new, everything's brand new for me because I'm new at this. So my email address is, I think it's ketorockstars21@gmail.com. ketorockstars21@gmail.com is my email address. The cool kids are here. Yeah. Here, let me put it in here. I forgot I can chat in here. You want it? Okay, let me pop that up. So that's my email address. The cool kids are here tonight. Rick says, haha. Oh my gosh, that's a dead cat, Mike. Yeah, it's got, so it came with this little fuzzy thing that you could put over it. So, but it allows me to walk around the kitchen. And I like Dustin's mic. He's got one of those big like microphones that come out that looks like a radio station mic. But when you're cooking in the kitchen and stuff, you can't really have one of those because I don't know. You have to. That's like a desk, more of a desk mic. So yeah. So I have what my mom now calls a dead mouse mic. I think that's what I'm gonna call it forever now. Okay. A lot. Yeah. Jason says I use a wireless lav mic too for my kitchen. So really, I mean, all I'm using are 2 wireless cameras. They're not the best cameras, obviously. But I just invested in 2 wireless cameras that are hooked to my laptop. I can switch in between them with OBS Studio. I bought a microphone. I don't have like one of them fancy Sony cameras yet. But I just did the setup. I used to just follow myself around with my iPhone in the kitchen. And honestly, that was way easier. But when I switched to OBS Studio, I had to get some stationary cameras to hook up to the laptop. My iPhone, I couldn't do the iPhone anymore. So, but the only thing I don't like about the cameras is they don't have a monitor on them, so I can't see myself on them. So that's a little tricky. That's why they sell these expensive cameras with a flip out screen. But I have my own way of doing it, so I kind of cheat. So, but I work in IT, so I kind of have ideas about doing things. But I really like OBS Studio. Yeah, no need to have. So how I cheat is I have I'll show you my little trick. I have my iPhone on a little tripod here, and I use that as my monitor, so I can at least see if I'm standing on screen. Now it's a little delayed, but I can at least see if I'm standing in the right spot or if the camera is pointing in the right direction. So I cheat. So I use my iPhone as my monitor. So yeah, you don't have to have expensive gear. I think the most important thing is that people can hear you. And then I have a little switch on my laptop that I can switch between the cameras because I don't have a camera person. So I just hit a button on my laptop as I'm walking over to the other camera and it switches it for me. So that's my setup. It took a little bit of while to program it, but again, I work in IT and I've watched a little bit of YouTube videos and had to figure it out a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. We'll see. Well, guys, yeah, audio is the most important thing, which I had it screwed up in the beginning because somehow I got 2 mics in there and it was duplicating, but now I know. So I knew right away what was happening. So next week, hopefully that doesn't happen. Yep. As long as they can hear, the camera doesn't have to be perfect, is what I was told at least. So we're going to go with that. So I'm just going to use my my 2 little cameras for now, and we'll see how it goes. But, well, everybody, thank you so much for following me, and I'm going to look up your channels, and it was so good to meet you too. Yes, send me an email. We will do a live stream together and an interview, and I would love to do that. I would love, anything that I can share about myself that will help get the word out. And you probably have a bigger following than I do right now. So anything I can share about myself that would help inspire somebody, I'm all for that. And creating content on your page, anything I can help on your page, on your channel, I'm all for that too. So, all right, everybody, I typically only do an hour live stream. Because after you cook in your kitchen, you have to clean it up. So that's usually what I do. And my dad is probably getting hungry too. So I appreciate you all being here tonight. Any final thoughts or questions before we end this? Rick, thank you for joining me. Jason, thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you soon because we're gonna do a podcast together. I can see this. Yes, have a great night, everybody. Dustin, if you're still there, enjoy your dinner. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. Love you all. Take care.